Alright y'all, so Rsx is on jack stands, gonna do complete suspension rebuild. Gonna replace brakes, all the control arm bushings, and do the gravel suspension from Yellowspeed. I already got started a little bit on this corner, but went inside to grab the camera before I went further on. I just took the brake off, took the caliper off, or took the rotor off and the caliper off. It's a must. So I had to run and grab a 36mm bolt for this axle nut. I didn't have one. Surprise, surprise. Now I'm taking off the tie rod on the strut because it's weird on this Rsx. It's on the coilover. Got the lower control arm off. Got the links off here. Got the strut out. It's over here. You can see what I was talking about with the tie rod mounts for the steering. It's actually mounts to the strut on this Rsx. Did those 3 bolts and gonna start on the rear. Took me longer than I thought, but it's my first time doing it on this car, so noted. It's still there. I just got my Yellowspeed Coilover kit, gravel kit, 2-way. Haven't even taken them out of the box. Gonna go ahead and take them out and show you guys what I got. These are the fronts. Go ahead and pull them out. That's that good Japanese, Taiwanese, Asian smell of packing paper. If any of you have ever gotten stuff from Yahoo Japan, you guys know what this smells like. So here we have the full kit. You got the fronts and then the rears. We'll go ahead and get a good look, good deeper look into these coilovers right now. I'll note some key differences for rally coilovers. So first things first, you get a little toolkit. Comes with the adjusters, you can see right there, and then some wrenches and some stickers. Rsx DC5 2-way gravel kit. So I got these laid out on the floor on a piece of cardboard. Don't want to mess them up even though they're going to get scratched. I need to get some spring covers for them, but for now we'll just go over some of the features of rally coilovers. So the biggest is that they're usually inverted struts. So you can see how much fatter this part of the strut is. That means that usually you have like a thin rod going up this way. What they've done for rally coilovers is they flip this upside down, so you have that thin rod on the bottom, so this doesn't become a buckle point up here when you're compressing these shocks under high load. Another thing to notice is that these mounting points right here are a lot thicker. This is probably 1/8 inch plate steel. And hopefully you can see that in the light. I know it's black, but usually this is just like a stamped piece of steel with like a flare on it to stiffen it a little bit. But you can see here there's extra supports welded on the top, bottom, and the middle. That's a must, because you'll shear off your strut where the knuckle meets. So on the bottom you got the dampening adjustment, the rebound adjustments on the top. You got another adjustment on the reservoir. This is a camber hat. I actually need to see about getting fixed hats because I'm not sure how these camber hats will do. But yeah, those are some of the differences with the rally coilovers. One other thing to notice is that you have a longer spring. I'll see if I can do a side-by-side comparison, but this is a pretty long spring. You also have a little helper spring just to keep everything happy. These are usually really soft. I think these are 200, 300 pounds per inch, 5K, 7Ks. I think they're 5K in the front, 7K in the rear. I gotta double check. That comes out, I think, to like 275, 300 pounds per inch. But that's the fronts, the rears. Looks like they come with rubber bushings. Looks like you got the adjustment on top. You got that Allen adjustment. Yeah, not really much else to note. You do got a bump stop, a hard bump stop on top out. Looks pretty sturdy. Reservoir, similar case. Right rear here. So you can see the stock one compared to the gravel kit. The part that mounts to the hub is just a stamped piece with a little flange. Nothing too fancy there. And here you can see the shaft is actually thicker than I thought it would be, but it's still not as thick as these like 50s over here. But you can see the difference in travel, difference in stroke, difference in ride height. But yeah, I just wanted to give you the side-by-side comparison. Here's the rear. You can see the rear spring, the rear stock spring's a little bit taller. It also appears to be a little bit softer, but for rally that's okay in a front-wheel drive car, because stiffer rear means you'll oversteer more, which is exactly what we want to do in a front-wheel drive car on the dirt. The shaft here is what I was talking about as being really small in diameter. So what you don't want is one that small in diameter on the front, because it'll buckle more. We'll see how these do. In the rear, there's not that long of a stroke, so you're less likely to buckle those. I had to take the control arms to a shop. I don't have a press. I knew I didn't have a press. I tried some bushing press tools, or bushing tools and ball joint tools, and managed to only get a couple bushings, so I had to take the rest to a shop to get them done. And they're having trouble with them too, and they have not got them done yet. But that's okay, because nothing you can do about it. I got still like 2 weeks till Glen Helen, but I'd love to go out before practice on the 20th. But I figured I'd give you a little update on what all I've done. So one thing I did do was the ball joints. So here are the two front knuckles. These ball joints are actually pretty easy to do. You put the castle nut on and you can literally just knock them through with the sledge, and then just get a regular ball joint press and press them on from the back. You can see a CV half shaft here. That's because I had to replace the passenger side one. I think I noted in the video when I took them out that there's a little pinhole in this and it's leaking, and that is why that side's control arm and knuckle and everything's caked in oil. So yeah, that was fun. Went ahead and installed the coilovers. You can see the reservoirs coming out the top. I put some styrofoam on them so they don't get scratched, the reservoirs. Yeah, that's where I plan to mount those reservoirs for now. I also replaced the tie rods on both ends, the tie rod ends, not the inner tie rods. I still got to do the links. I'm not going to do the links yet. One thing I wanted to point out is the shock socks, or the shock spring covers. These are from Shockwares, outerwears. Got them off Amazon, 30 bucks a pair, and they prevent all the gravel from getting into your threads, your adjustable part of the shock, so it doesn't get gunked up and you don't strip your threads when you gotta make adjustments. Just keep things a little bit cleaner too. So got those for 30 bucks. Also stainless steel brake lines with some rubberized coating on them. Got those, they're from Power Stop. Got them from Rock Auto. So went ahead and changed those out. Still gotta bleed the brakes. One thing I didn't note is that I got some fire retardant sleeve and kind of just abrasion protection too for the stainless steel line going to the reservoirs. That was like 45 bucks for 3 feet, I believe, Amazon, but one time buy it, you don't need to do it again, hopefully. This side, same deal. Shock covers, no CV, but stainless steel brake lines, new tie rod. So the rears got a little bit extra with the mud flaps. I didn't mount those before, but figured I'd mount them now. Yeah, so the rears for the coilover kit for the Rsx isn't very, doesn't add a lot of travel, but I did do softer springs. I think I'm doing 320 in the rear, 220 or 325 in the rear, 225 in the front. But yeah, stainless steel, new pads, new rotors all around, but those will go on when the knuckles go on. Yeah, that's it for now. I don't really have much else. Here's all the parts I have to put on still. Front pads and rotors, rear rotors, end links. Here's the bushings that actually, yeah, this is something I wanted to show y'all. Here are the ball joints and bushings that I was able to take off. This is one of the front compliance bushings. You can see it's ripped here. I don't know if it's all the way through, but it's cracking on both of the rubber sides on this side and both on this side. So definitely needed to be changed. Here's the other one for the other side. I don't know which was which, but these come from the rear control arms, the rear lower control arms. I don't, like, there's cracking around there, but I assume that it's just, they're done. This was the one off a knuckle. This kind of popped out. So this isn't the full bushing, this is just a rubber piece in between. But you can see how, or that was really easy to do, so that bushing was toast too. This is the left rear as well, left rear lower. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty toast in there. But I knew all these were pretty shot. The ball joints were pretty loose. Sorry, not the ball joints. Yeah, the ball joints were pretty loose. They're not loose right now because I had to hammer them to get out, but you could grab them and wiggle them when they were in the knuckles. But hammering them in probably flat spotted them, and they're, yeah, there you go. They're pretty loose. That doesn't take much. This one's seized now, and now I got dirty hands. So yeah, I wanted to give you a look as to why I decided to go through all this suspension rebuilding when all I needed to do was put on coils. That's pretty much it. That's all I got for this one. Again, shout out to Yellowspeed. Thanks for hooking it up. And then, as always, Method, Federal, Zip Tie, Imagine Garage. You guys are awesome.